What about this aggression that's come into the game now? Is it more or less than it was?
Aggression, I think, actually came in Test cricket. It's not due to one-day matches. I mean, I think we have to thank Ian Chappell's 1975 Australians who actually brought the aggression into the game. It's not due to one-day cricket.
Or money? Do you think it's due to money?
I don't think so. It was just Australia is affected a lot by the American influence, and in American sport, the aggression has the will to win. They have a completely different psychology to sport, and I think from there it went to Australia, and Australia everywhere.
I mean, my greatest inspiration was I hadn't seen a fast bowler until I came to England. And then I was in school and I remember watching Dennis Lillie bowl here at Lord's. And that's when I wanted to be a fast bowler. There's nothing quite like watching the sight of a fast bowler bowling. Now, watching Michael Holding, it was sheer poetry. I mean, that's sort of, and then you really can tell the difference between batsmen. In World Series cricket, where there were a concentration of so many fast bowlers in one place, that's where you suddenly saw the difference between batsmen. That's where Viv Richards rose above the rest. Suddenly you saw him, and some batsmen disappeared. The big names, I remember Lawrence Rowe had come up with a huge reputation. I think on his debut he had scored something like 300 and 100 or something phenomenal. And here was Lawrence Rowe against this sort of fast bowling. He gradually faded away. There were a lot of other reputations that were destroyed of batsmen playing that quality of fast bowling. But the ones you survived, you knew had passed the test. You knew that they had the temperament and the technique and the talent to cope with the best bowlers. So it's very important to...
Sunil Gavaskar, his greatness was the best defense. Excellent management of his innings. You could see he is, and certainly as a batsman, was an exceptionally intelligent man who organized his innings all the time, who read the wickets, the conditions, the bowlers, and really in their own ways both were brilliant.
How can you compare those batsmen, says someone like Sunil Gavaskar, playing for India, always went in, because India didn't have any fast bowlers, so they were always playing against teams that had fast bowlers, knew India didn't have fast bowlers, so they would prepare the greenest wicket, and this poor guy would be opening against the fast bowlers on green wickets all the time. I mean, his record is phenomenal if you look at the sort of cricket he played. Talent can excel in one-day cricket. Sheer talent you can do well in one-day cricket. But in a test match, not only is your talent tested, your technique is tested. In 2020, you can get away with a faulty technique, not in a test match. And then above all, your temperament is tested. And then there are two facets to temperament. One is, for instance, when I used to watch Sunil Gavaskar bat, I could almost see a computer at work. His mind was like a computer. You would be sort of looking at him, everything would be sort of being processed. The conditions, the playing condition, what the bowler is doing, which bowler to score runs off, when to score runs off, the total management of his innings. Models. And from Javed Barki, we always used to ask about Mansoor Ali Khan. And now this is what he used to say. Now remember, I'm a child growing up, my hero telling me, he said that if Mansoor Ali Khan had not lost his eye, he felt that he would have broken all records. That such was his talent in university when they used to be playing together. He said the quality of strokes he could play, he said mere mortals could not play those strokes. And to actually have gone on with one eye and have the sort of record which Mansoor Ali Khan had, the mind boggles what he could have done with both. They had, in Viv Richards, arguably one of the greatest batsmen of all times. I mean, he was just a genius. He was just way above all the other batsmen of the time. I mean, bowling to him was a scary experience because even if you're a fast bowler, the guy had just had, he was given exceptional reflexes by the Almighty. This is my last one. First one as a 23-year-old went over. And I remember bowling to these two great butchers, Viv Richards and Gordon Greenwich. It was a real experience. For a fast bowler to bowl to them, rather than you scaring them, they would be scaring you. And so anyway, I was bowling, so I was an in-swing bowler, so not very accurate. Someone early on had described me right arm over anywhere. So it was going all over down the leg side. And anyway, these two bowlers, these two batsmen were sort of playing me on the onside. And I had this fast bowler, our other fast bowler, fielding on the fine leg boundary. As it is, I was being thrashed all over the place. To make matters worse, each time the ball went to him, 5 yards either side, he wouldn't even bother to move. And then, if it was close enough, forget about bending down or diving, he would just put a boot there to stop it. So I was furious. At lunchtime, I went into having been thrashed, hot day, I went in and I told my captain, I said, look, could you not tell him to feel a bit better than that? The captain looked at me. He was, of course, a senior player. And the two sort of looked at me. And I got a real telling off. They said, don't you know he needs to conserve his energy and fine leg for his bowling? So.
Last words for Sachin Tendulkar?
Well, what do I say about Sachin? Such a great player. But I can only say, if I was in his position, I would want to leave on a high. And my greatest worry was that I should never be at the mercy of the selectors.
Do you actually think someone like Sachin could be at the mercy of the selectors?
No, but why put yourself in that position? I mean, Sachin has, what a brilliant record he has. I mean, would he not want
that for the sake of peace, we once have a joint India-Pakistan team to take on the rest of the world? Would you support such a thing?
Except it would take away the fun from that Indo-Pak match, which is so
We'll
special.
have those as well, yeah.
Yes,
Who would be captain,
though? The current two teams?
You see, it's 11, unfortunately, so you can say 5-5 and then one captain.
Well, I would say that Dravid would be the captain.
Not based on country, but based on personality, cricket strength, etc.
Not being diplomatic, I actually think that Dravid he's more of an aggressive captain. He's a bold captain. He leads from the front. Right. Inzamam, although I would say is a greater player. This would be controversial here, but
greater
for me,
player, Inzamam
would be a greater batsman. But as a captain, he's too laid back.
Yeah. But you're a great fan of his, right, Inzamam?
In terms of as a batsman, I think he hasn't really. He's not the amount of talent God gifted him with.
Right.
He's not really done justice to it, and even then he averages 50.
Amazing.
I saw Sean Tate bowl in these 2020, and I thought an alien had come in. Suddenly you saw batsmen hopping around, suddenly as if they hadn't seen such pace. But in my time, the West Indies had at least 4 bowlers, not just that they were fast, they were great bowlers. They were wicket-taking bowlers. They were match winners. I remember Sylvester Clarke couldn't get into the West Indies team. And Johnny Barkley and Mark Nicholson would tell you, facing Sylvester Clarke was quite a harrowing experience. I mean, he terrified batsmen. He went to South Africa on a sort of West Indies rebel tour. And he destroyed the South African team single-handedly. He couldn't get into the West Indies team. Then there was a guy called Wayne Daniels, which Johnny remembers, bowling for Middlesex. He was so fast, the West Indies wouldn't even look at him. So such was the quality of fast bowling.
कपिल के बारे में बात करें तो उनकी सबसे बड़ी क्वालिटी क्या थी, या कोई आपके सामने कोई एक मेमोरी कपिल देव की?
देखिए, कपिल देव की मेरे ज़माने में दो प्लेयर थे जिनकी बहुत बड़ी कंट्रीब्यूशन है हिंदुस्तान की क्रिकेट को. एक तो सुनील गवास्कर, क्योंकि तब तक इंडियन बैट्समैन का ये एक तासुर था कि वो तेज़ बॉलिंग को नहीं खेल सकते सही. तो सुनील गवास्कर पहले बैट्समैन थे जिन्होंने इस तासुर को तोड़ा, और उनके ऊपर मुझे बड़ा अफसोस होता था क्योंकि वो उन दिनों में हिंदुस्तान के पास तेज़ बॉलर नहीं थे. तो वो जब हिंदुस्तान का मैच होता था दूसरी टीमें तेज़ विकेटें बना लेती थी और सुनील गवास्कर को फेस करना पड़ता था सारा तेज़ बॉलिंग को. तो मैं उनको बहुत हाई इसलिए रेट करता था कि उनको हमेशा जब तक कपिल देव नहीं आए तो सारी तेज़ बॉलर तेज़ विकेटों के ऊपर खेलना पड़ता था. और उनका जो रिकॉर्ड है वो इस एक तो रिकॉर्ड पूरी तरह बताता नहीं है कि जो उनकी कंट्रीब्यूशन है हिंदुस्तान क्रिकेट. दूसरे कपिल देव थे. कपिल देव तो मुझे याद है हम हिंदुस्तान के खिलाफ जब खेलने आते थे तो हमें पहला पता होता था कि स्पिनर्स ही खेलने. तो एकदम मुझे याद है कोई एक बेनिफिट मैच था यहाँ दिल्ली में, तो हम ऐसे देख रहे तो एक यंग सा बॉलर पहली दफ़ा हिंदुस्तानी बॉलर बाउंसर करने शुरू कर दिए, तो वो कपिल देव थे. और कपिल देव ने हिंदुस्तान की क्रिकेट को बहुत चेंज किया दो चीज़ों से. एक, पहले तेज़ बॉलर थे और इन्होंने पहली दफ़ा दूसरी टीमों को बाउंस किया यानी रिटेलिएट किया, और ये एक बहुत बड़ी हिंदुस्तान टीम में कॉन्फिडेंस आया कि हमारे पास भी कोई रिटेलिएट करने का. और दूसरा इनका ये था कि इनकी बैटिंग थी, एक फ्लैम्बॉयंट बैट्समैन थे, अपनी बैटिंग से भी गेम चेंज कर सकते थे. तो एज एन जेन्युइन ऑलराउंडर ये पहले हिंदुस्तान के थे और फास्ट और हिंदुस्तान के पहले थे.
लेकिन ये